Well, can I say from the outset what a great honour it is for me to serve as Secretary of State for Northern Ireland. It's a place that remains a much valued part of the family of nations that makes up our United Kingdom. And we in this party are proud of the Union, and we've never been any doubt that we're all of us stronger and better together. Northern Ireland's position within the Union rests firmly on the consent of its people, enshrined in the Belfast Agreement, and the Conservatives will always uphold the democratic wishes of the people of Northern Ireland. And today's Northern Ireland continues to punch above its weight on the world stage, quite literally in the case of boxing champions like Carl Frampton. And nobody's ever suggested that Ulster men and women lack the fighting spirit, as any Secretary of State will tell you. We're continuing, of course, though, in Northern Ireland to attract some of the world's top events, like the opening stage of the Giro d'Italia cycling race in May. Famed for the pink jersey it confers on the winner, Giro fever reached such heights in Northern Ireland that even the Orange Order turned out in pink for the occasion. And in June, of course, Northern Ireland hosted another truly momentous visit by Her Majesty the Queen. During that visit, the royal couple were able to mingle freely with the public at St George's Market, just yards from some of Northern Ireland's most divided communities. And the picture of Her Majesty standing next to the Iron Throne of Westeros in Belfast Paint Hall Studios caused something of a social media sensation around the world. Who knows what would have happened if she'd been persuaded actually to sit in it? Very wisely she didn't. In a speech at Belfast City Hall, Her Majesty paid tribute to all those whose contributions have helped transform Northern Ireland in recent years. Of course, we all know that includes the brave men and women of the police and the armed forces. And we in this party will never forget their service and their sacrifice in the line of duty, not least as we mark the 30th anniversary of that terrible Brighton bomb attack on our own conference. The painful effects are still felt by victims today. And be in no doubt, this party will always stand fairly and squarely with the rule of law. We have always strongly rejected amnesties for anyone who commits a terrorist outrage. So I give you this reassurance today. Had the scheme of on-the-run letters we inherited from Labour ever amounted to an amnesty, we would have stopped it immediately. And let me repeat that as far as we're concerned, the scheme is over. Now, one of the greatest privileges I have as Secretary of State is to work with the Chief Constable and the outstanding officers of the Police Service of Northern Ireland. Alongside our security services, they do a remarkable job in keeping people safe from harm. They've had major successes in recent months, many achieved in partnership with their colleagues in the Garda Síochána. And on behalf of the Prime Minister, the government and of this party, I thank every one of them. Regrettably, the residual terrorist threat remains a fact of life in Northern Ireland, and tackling it continues to be our #1 priority. But we shouldn't forget that in so many respects, Northern Ireland's unrecognisable compared to the dark days before the political settlement. And that's underpinned by an economy which, thanks to our long-term economic plan, has emerged from Labour's Great Recession and is on the path to recovery. Unemployment is falling in Northern Ireland and the number in work is rising, providing more security for hard-working people. The government and the devolved executive are more closely engaged than ever before with the work on the economic pact we signed in June last year. And this year, Northern Ireland is predicted to grow faster than most of the world's major developed economies. But there's a long way to go if we're to fix the broken economy left us by Labour in 2010, not least by giving a hand to help make life affordable again. So that's why we've cut income tax for 650,000 people in Northern Ireland and frozen fuel duty to provide further help. And never let anyone forget whose reckless spending and debt pushed our country over an economic cliff, and we must never ever give Labour the chance to do that again. Now, part of Labour's legacy is a Northern Ireland economy that's too dependent on the public sector. Turning that round and growing the private sector will take time, and much of the responsibility for doing that rests with the devolved institutions. But we're doing all we can to help, which is why creating the best environment for business to grow and enterprise to flourish in every part of the United Kingdom is such a crucial part of our long-term economic plan. That's why the Chancellor has cut corporation tax, and soon will be taking the decision on whether to devolve corporation tax powers so Northern Ireland could set its own rate. But let me be very clear. Stormont needs to be in the best possible shape if it's to be able to take full advantage of what would be a significant change if it were to go ahead. And that brings me to the political situation. The Conservatives strongly support Northern Ireland's political settlement and the institutions created by the Belfast Agreement, which have now delivered the longest unbroken period of devolved government since the 60s. Yet it's clear that the institutions are not working as well as they should, and that's affecting public confidence in their ability to deliver. Two issues, above all, are now contributing to near deadlock at Stormont, and both are in urgent need of resolution. The first is welfare reform. The Conservatives are replacing the broken welfare system we inherited from Labour with one that's based on common sense, one that protects the vulnerable, but which rewards work and is fairer for taxpayers. Welfare is a devolved matter, so Northern Ireland could maintain parity with the rest of the UK, or it could go it alone. It has that choice. But no one should be in any doubt about the consequences of breaking parity. The social costs of propping up a welfare regime that too often fails the people it's intended to help, and the massive financial costs of maintaining a separate and more expensive system. The UK government has already agreed significant flexibilities to reflect Northern Ireland's circumstances, but we have no more to give. And it's now essential that the nationalist parties show that they can make the hard choices of responsible government and allow welfare reform to proceed. But it's not just the refusal of nationalists to implement welfare reform that's holding us back. We also urgently need unionists back round the table to tackle the legacy issues which can so often embitter community relations and damage the political relationships which are crucial to making the devolved institutions work. Disputes over flags, over parades, over the past are consuming ever-increasing amounts of time and resources, particularly where they spill out onto the streets with demonstrations and public disorder. Now, I fully appreciate how difficult these issues are. The roots of some of them date back centuries. But there are huge benefits for Northern Ireland if a way can be found to make progress on these issues. Crucially, that would provide the opportunity to develop a balanced, transparent and accountable approach on the past, one that has objectivity and historical accuracy as a golden thread running through all of its work, and one which puts the interests of victims at its heart. And of course, the other benefit that this would free up Stormont to get on with tackling issues like health, like schools, like jobs, and all the other everyday things that are so important for delivering a better quality of life for people in Northern Ireland. Now, ultimately, the answers to these divisive questions have to come from Northern Ireland's political leadership. But the UK government can and does have a role, persuading, facilitating and doing all we can to see real change delivered to secure a genuinely shared future for Northern Ireland. So my realistic assessment is that the time is now right for a new round of cross-party talks to be convened to seek a way forward on the outstanding issues, so that working together we can do all we can to lift the blockages which are now preventing the devolved executive from delivering the efficient and effective government that the people of Northern Ireland want and which they deserve. So in the coming days, I'll be engaging with the 5 main parties and the Irish government to discuss in more detail the precise format and agenda. But I believe that there is now an opportunity for the UK government to play a more direct role as a participant in a new round of talks to help Northern Ireland's political leadership grapple with these very difficult problems. And with matters under discussion which relate to the operation of the 1998 Belfast Agreement, it's right that there's a place at the table for the Irish government as well on the matters that concern them. So in conclusion, it's just over 20 years since a Conservative government embarked on the first steps of a peace process which has done a huge amount to make life better for the people of Northern Ireland, lifting the shadow of the bullet and the bomb and giving greater peace of mind to everyone who lives there. The relationship between the UK and Ireland has never been better, as illustrated by President Higgins' historic and hugely successful visit to Windsor in April. But we still have a journey ahead of us if we're to build a truly stable, peaceful and prosperous Northern Ireland, which has left sectarian division behind forever. So be in no doubt, as Conservatives, we'll continue to strive to overcome the bitter legacies of the past, to build a healthier economy and to secure a better, brighter future for Northern Ireland and for everyone lucky enough to call it home. Thank you.